Well, hey there folks, and welcome back once again to the Hop House. Eddie here. It is Saturday night, so what do you do on a Saturday night? It's the weekend. Why not have a beer? Why not have a couple of beers? So it's time for another beer review. Now do me a favour, before we go any further with this video, feel free to like, share and subscribe this channel. Because on this channel is the Hop House, and we go with hoppy beers and good house music. Another thing before we crack on with the beer review that we're going to do right now, I'm going to go in terms of the music side of it, the house music side. Next Thursday, which is the 3rd of December, we're going to try and do a live, go live on YouTube and do a live DJ stream. I'm going to aim for 7 PM for about an hour or so, not much longer than that. So 7 PM on Thursday the 3rd of December, tune into this channel, we'll go live and see if YouTube kicks us off. Right then, so as I say, you are here to listen to me chunter on about beer. So let's do it. It's time for another beer review. And we've done a few already on the channel, and what I want to do today is do some beers that are some classic beers. Some classic beers. In the last few years, craft beers become a thing. You've got all these hoppy IPAs and New England IPAs and all sorts of wonderful craft brewery beers in posh cans and all sorts. We will be doing some reviews on those kind of beers on this channel as well. But today we're going to look at some classic, quintessential English ales. Now the first one, not going to lie, it was an ale. When I first got into drinking beer and ales, when I saw it on the bar, I used to go for a pint of it. I really did. I used to think it was a great ale. We'll see now if my taste buds have changed, because they have. And if you do get into drinking ales and things, you may go off on a tangent and you may discover what type of ale that you like, and your taste buds may change. So today we are looking at, it's a classic, it's been around for many a year. It is this Greene King IPA. Greene King Brewery, Bury St Edmunds in Suffolk, east of England, and Greene King IPA have been around for many years. 1799 it says on the bottle, and they've been brewing. They've got a core range of beers that they have. The IPA is their flagship beer. They also do Old Speckled Hen. If you've heard of Old Speckled Hen, it's sometimes advertised on telly, and also Abertale is another one of theirs. Greene King is also, I believe, the biggest chain of pubs in the UK, or maybe the second biggest. Maybe there's another one like Amber Inns or Amber Taverns or whatever they're called. But Greene King have all their own pubs, which has the logo on like that, which you may have seen. They also own all of the Hungry House pubs. They recently took over all the Wacky Warehouses, and they either turn them into Hungry Horses, or they turn them into, I think, something called like Farmhouse Inn, or something Farmhouse, something like that. There's one opposite where I used to work anyway. So they do have all their beers in there. Some of their pubs have guest beers on, not all. So Greene King is a brewery that you either love or you hate, a bit like Marmite. Now, it's an IPA. It's an India Pale Ale. So what do we know about India Pale Ales so far? What we said on the channel previously is IPAs, India Pale Ales, were strong, hearty, hoppy beers, rammed full of hops to get the alcohol level up, so that they could travel on a boat from here to India to the troops in the olden days when the troops were over in India. So this is an IPA, it's an India Pale Ale. It's 3.6%. Huh? An IPA is supposed to be strong and hoppy and get to India. 3.6%. Something doesn't sound right there, does it? Well, let's go. Let's get into a glass. So off of the bottle, let's pour it. Got a nice hobgoblin glass here. Pour it into, I haven't got Greene King IPA glass. I'm sorry, I haven't got every branded glass in the world. Because I haven't got enough room in the cupboard. So, pouring it out into a glass. I can hear it hissing. It's very fizzy. A lot of carbonation in there. Now, one thing you may have noticed, hang on, let me just Smells better than I thought it would. Right, one thing you may have noticed, before we go any further, is this is a clear bottle. A lot of beers come in darker bottles. This is a clear bottle, as you can see. You can still see some of the liquid in the bottom there. Now, there can be some issues when you have a clear bottle like this. There are some breweries that put it in clear bottles so that people can actually physically see the colour of the liquid and know what they're buying. However, if it's in a clear see-through bottle like this, you do run the risk of sunlight or lights in supermarkets interrupting with the hops inside, and it can turn them, really kill off the flavour. Has like a chemical reaction or something. So I've heard. I've said before on the channel, I'm not an industry expert, I'm not a brewer, I don't work in the brewing industry. I'm only going on what I've heard and what I've read, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Right, wow, look at the head on this now. Put a flake in that if you like. Crikey. So it's dark in colour. It's like a pale ale colour. Remember when I said that the traditional pale ales were pale as in see-through? That's what that looks like, with a monumentous head on it. Right then, so that's what it looks like. It's quite dark. It's not golden colour, which some more modern IPAs are. It looks more traditional pale ale colour, dark amber, almost like a mahogany, reddy brown colour. Right, I'm going to attempt to have a smell. So we're going to have a whiff and see what we can sniff. Ooh, now you know what? I'll be honest with you. I genuinely thought I wasn't going to like this beer because I haven't had it for a couple of years. I think it's a couple of years anyway. They recently rebranded it. So if you have a look at the bottle, you can see the bottle, it's green with just white writing on. Before it was green and it had like orangey, yellowy writing. So they had rebranded the badge. I think that looks a bit smarter and cleaner. And they said to Greene at the time that they weren't paying much respect to their cask ales and they were going to improve the quality of it and they were going to hop this up somewhat. So they did say that, you know, apologies for the Greene King IPA, we're going to make it better. So I haven't had this rebranded newer version of Greene King IPA. Let's hope this is what it is. Right, giving it a whiff. What can I sniff? Right, I can smell hops. I can. I'm happy to say I can smell hops in this beer. I can also smell malts. I can smell almost like a toffee smell. When I say a toffee smell, I don't mean sweetness. What I mean is if you put a toffee in your mouth and suck on it, stay with me, then sometimes the aftertaste you get of the toffee is a bit sort of sour, like a sour toffee aftertaste. That's kind of what I can smell in this. Bit on the nose. I can also smell the malts. I can definitely smell some sort of barley or something going on in there, but I can smell hops. So I'll tell you what, it don't smell bad. Right then, I think the next thing is to shove it down my gullet and see what we get. So, bottoms up and down the hatchet. Got to get rid of this head first. You know what? That's actually alright. No idea why my voice went that high pitch then. That was a pitch of surprise. I quite like that. That's not bad. I'm actually quite shocked. I swear down, I'm actually quite shocked. Like I said, the last time I had this, it was a couple of years ago, and it wasn't good. It was pretty poor. It was pretty weak. It was watery. It was bland. Bland is the word. Now, hear me out. So, it's branded as an IPA. It's branded as an India Pale Ale. It's 3.6%. It's not an IPA. It is not a hoppy, hearty, strength India Pale Ale. This would not survive the journey to India. It wouldn't. It's especially back then when it had to sail around the coast of South Africa. This wouldn't make it to the south coast of Portugal, never mind India. Won't make it to the Canaries. But it is a nice tasting ale. Now, if they've taken away the I from the IPA and put a T there and put Greene King Traditional Pale Ale, then they'll probably be branding it properly. 3.6% Traditional Pale Ale. Think of things things like Bass Ale that you used to have. Around here in Shropshire where I live, you have Jules Pale Ale, which is pretty similar to this. It's dark in colour like this. It's dark, pale as in see-through. You can see through it, but it's a traditional pale ale. It's malty. It's hoppy. Traditional hops, traditional British hops in there. There's no magical American sea hops in there, but it is hoppy. It has got a bitterness on leaving on your tongue. The aftertaste is quite bitter. And that's what's really surprised me about it. So I'm going to go for another mouthful, I'll swig it around, and I'll quickly try and explain the flavours that I get. And then I'll tell you what I think and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So, it's very light, because it is only 3.6%, so it's not going to have a really thick mouthfeel like you might get with a Guinness or a Stout, where it's thick and bold, because it's 3.6%. But say it's 3.6%, it is really quite refreshing. So taste-wise, what am I getting? That toffee smell that I picked up, the dry toffee, that's there. That sort of is in the middle of the mouthfeel that sort of runs down the middle of your tongue. The bitterness from the hops runs down the side of your tongue, and then it sort of lingers like at the back of your mouth, almost towards the top of your throat. So it is hoppy. It's nice. There is also the malt. You can taste the malt. It's sort of salty malty. What do I mean when I say salty malty? I don't know. I don't even know how I can describe it, but it's not too bad. There's malt there. You can taste it. Yes, you can. It's not sweet. I wouldn't say that this is sweet at all. It's more bitter than it is sweet, and it's a lot more bitter than I remember it being last time, and than I thought it would be this time. So have a quick look on the bottle, see what the bottle says. So, Greene King, 17.99. I'm going to have to go over here again to read it so I can get decent light. Apologies. Carefully selected pale, crystal and black malts, joined with English hops including Pilgrim and First Gold. Crisp and refreshing, 3.6%. I said I thought it was traditional British hops. Crisp and refreshing, that's actually a really good way to describe this. It is exactly that, crisp and refreshing. First brewed on the 8th of May 1928. Our classic IPA delivers the same refreshing hoppy taste today that was created years ago. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I don't think so, because I do think this recipe has changed since the last time I tried it. Because I think I got about this far down the last time I had it, and I think I ended up chucking it down the sink. Don't even think I finished it. I am part of a couple of beer groups on Facebook, so what we tend to do is we'll upload a beer, a photo of a beer that we've had, and then people sort of comment and stuff. So I think that's why I tried it. I thought I'll give the Greene King IPA a whirl. And half of it went down the sink. This won't happen. I'll finish this. This is not bad. So, is it a game changer? Is it an IPA and India Pale Ale? No. Is it a traditional Pale Ale with British hops? Yes. Is it what it says on the bottle? It's refreshing. Yes. It's light. Yes. It's hoppy. Yes. So, Greene King TPA, not IPA. I would actually I'd get that again. I'm really quite shocked. I was expecting to say meh. And as I did say to you at the beginning of this review, so we'll go back a bit. I did originally, when I first got into ales, there is a Hungry Horse pub near me in Telford, and I used to get this on cask. And I used to really like it. Any beer is usually better on cask than it is in a bottle, especially if it's a see-through clear bottle where the hops can be affected. I don't think this has happened with this. Yeah, Greene King IPA. This only cost £1. I think I got it from Morrison's, did I? Or Home Bargains. It was £1 or maybe just over. So it's not the most expensive beer in the world. You're only paying for 3.6% alcohol per volume. It's not going to be the most expensive beer in the world. That's really surprised me. I like that. Greene King IPA. Thank you very much, Greene King. I know they've been bought out recently by a Japanese business firm. Let's hope that they don't get shut down. Because they've been bought out by a property firm and they own a lot of pubs. So whether they're just going to sell them off and shut down the brewery, who knows. Anyway, I'm waffling now. Thank you very much for tuning in. In terms of would I get this again? Yes, I'm going to give that a thumbs up. I never thought I'd do that. I thought that'd be a thumbs down all day long, but there you go. Even I'm surprised. Right, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you for another beer review in the not so distant future. Ciao for now, people.